And the last point is plug the headphones in. We don't have headphones. Yes, sir. Another great question. So sometimes there are microphones that actually have power supplies down the line. Many of the tube mics have that. It doesn't change its properties. It's still a condenser microphone in most cases. It's just that power supply gives you the phantom power, as well as if the tube itself needs to be AC powered. Yeah, the phantom power will be right on that box. So you press it on the box. Yeah.
Do all USB versions give enough for?
Oh, great question.
Power?
So USB microphones, do they give enough power for phantom power? Usually they do.
So it's part of the standard.
Yeah. And I'm just going to press the power on these speakers. Sorry.
But if you're going through directly into the computer, though, if you're going into it, sometimes it can drain you don't get full power.
I've heard that sometimes USB microphones with condenser, they might not get full power from USB. I've heard that from time to time, but physically that's not supposed to be the case. They generally have enough power to power them. I suppose that can happen, but principally that's what they're meant to do.
I mean, like when you're using like a multi-hub.
Oh, a hub, yeah, bad news for sure.
USB hub.
Yeah. So great point. He says when you use a USB hub for a USB microphone, we're not going to address USB mics too much tonight. The biggest problem I have with them is that where do you plug the guitar, right? So if you're going to do just podcasting, or you're going to just do acoustic instruments, perfect. But anytime you want to expand that in any way, not so much. So we won't touch on it much. But yeah, I mean, if you use a USB hub, a 5-in-1 or a 7-in-1, one that's not powered by AC power, you can have problems with your devices, including your audio interface. So, all right, now, tough question. So I need some honesty here. Who in this crowd plays guitar? Who in this crowd plays guitar and is not shy? Thank you. I'll take it. Okay, cool. All right. So here's a loaded question. Who in this crowd sings?
We're doing Tom Waits or what?
No, we could. Who in this crowd sings and is not shy? All right. Do you mind just collaborating with him for 2-3 minutes and maybe find a song that you guys might know together? So thanks for volunteering. I really appreciate it. We're not ready yet, but you guys talk about a song that maybe you could play together if that's okay. You'll sing, he'll play. Okay? All right. Yeah, no, you don't have to leave the room. Maybe just sneak out and chat with him. If you want to go on up. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk about how to use the interface. Okay? Yeah, don't leave. I'm going to need you to like a minute. Cool. All right. So how do I use my interface? So who was doing recording back in the days when analog tape was prevalent? Fantastic. So to some of you guys, this is going to be a real throwback because it hasn't changed in 40 years. Okay? Preamps are preamps. There's good ones, there's bad ones, but they still need to be addressed the exact same way. This particular audio interface has 2 preamps in it, which essentially are the devices that are going to take the signal and amplify it up so that you can record it into the computer. Okay? So, once they're done, in fact, I might even be able to do this part myself. Now I'll get them. You guys ready?
Well.
Okay. Well, then that's great. We got ourselves a concert. Come on up, guys. Okay. All right, so here's how we're going to do this. I'll get you guys to stay off to that side if you don't mind. Each of you take a chair. And whoever's playing guitar, I'll pass this to you. What's your first name?
Simon.
Simon, and your first name?
Rory.
Rory? Simon and Rory sounds like a concert to me, huh? Let's give them a big hand.
You want a guitar?
Yeah. I actually don't even have one.
You don't?
Rory, I'm going to pass you this microphone. Now, in the case of condenser microphones, they work like this. They're called side address products. Now, that doesn't mean that every condenser is a side address, but 90% of them are. You sing into it this way, not this way. Your top address dynamic mics, SM58, that's how we're used to singing into them. In this particular case, the label on the front, that's the side you sing into. Okay? Cool. I'm going to pass that to you. Do you want the stand?
I'll try not to.
Okay, perfect.
wiggle around too
That
much.
works for me. Yes, sir.
What happens if you sing into the backside of it?
It just won't sound as loud. But that sound that you're hearing over here, that'll get picked up real well. Which you don't want. Okay.
Still no idea what
Yeah, same.
What's that?
Still
You know what's funny? I have done
Yeah.
24 seminars, and that song's come up at least a half a dozen
Yeah.
times. I've got recordings of that.
Classic.
Cool. All right, so we're a few more minutes away, but I want to now bring your attention back to the audio interface, okay? So, here's how it works. First of all, it was Rory, right? Simon and Rory. Okay, cool. So Simon, I'm going to get you to play the guitar for me if you don't mind. Okay, something's happening here. You see this little green light going on? In the preamp world, that tells me that I've got some sound coming in. Okay? However, I want to turn this thing up until the red light just starts to come on. So go ahead and strum a bit for me. You see that red light coming on? That's a bit much. So I'm going to just dial it down a wee touch. Keep playing. Okay. That's probably a pretty good level. Because every once in a while when he does a strum, the red light just comes on. Cool? Perfect. You'll hold it there now. Now, we want to balance the mix to match the input with the output. So in this case, I've got the blend knob right up the center. Now I've got actually I'll get to this. Let me get to that in a minute. These next 3 points are all critical because performance is everything. So you want to set the output, which we're going to do right now. If you can go ahead and play the guitar again for me. Is that loud enough for everybody? Good. Cool. So set the output to a comfortable listening level, set the headphones to a comfortable listening level, and make sure you can hear yourself well. You cannot perform if you don't hear yourself well. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now they're going through the monitors.
Yes, they're the studio monitors, you got it.
If you wanted to, could you get a Y splitter and go through headphones and both partners?
Absolutely you could.
Hear each other?
Absolutely
Yeah.
you could. So yes, the answer is you could have 2 sets of headphones on and these guys could hear themselves through headphones.
Oh, okay.
For the sake of everybody here tonight, I don't have 30 sets of headphones.
Exactly.
But yeah, we're going to do monitors instead. Cool. So far so good. Questions on the interface? All right. The exact same things are going to apply to the computer. I'm going to tell you about it first and I'm going to show you second. So, how do I use my software DAW? It works like this. I have to set my inputs and outputs. How many inputs do I have?
2.
What might I call input 1?
Instrument or guitar?
Guitar? How about input 2? Vocal. Sounds pretty good to me. Let's do that, guitar and vocal. I'm also going to set up the number of tracks I'm going to use. How many am I going to use to get started? 2. What might I call those?
Guitar and vocal.
Guitar and vocal. Seems makes sense to me. I know. But then we're going to add some tracks. Even though I can only do 2 at a time, we're going to add some more. Because I think these guys are good enough to be able to do it. Cool. Now, this might be simple, it might not be. The guitar has 1 connection out of it right now. Makes it a mono source. The microphone has 1 connection. Makes it a mono source. A bass guitar has 1 connection. Makes it a mono source. You give me some examples of stereo sources.
That guitar.
That guitar, yeah, it has 2 outputs. We're only using 1. That's 2, yeah. Another one? A synth with a left and right output, right? That would then take up both of those plugs. So I could only play the synth, record the synth at one time. Give me another stereo source.
Pedal board.
Pedal board, yeah, for sure. Going in mono with the guitar, but then it expands itself to be stereo with all those fancy plugs, right? Yeah.
I'm going to assume a dynamic mic.
No, a microphone's still a single source, unless it's a stereo microphone, which they do exist. But how about drum machines? They're stereo too, usually. Cool, so you get the difference, right? If I use a stereo device, I use up both inputs. In this case, I've used each input with a mono source. Okay? So there we are. Synths, drum machines, etc. Record dry whenever possible. We have such a luxury in this world that with computers, the software actually comes with a whole bunch of great sounds built in. Things like reverbs, delays, choruses, flanges, gates, and so on. We can apply those after the fact, or we can listen to them while they're on. So for example, I could have the microphone going, and I could have this reverb going in the background, and it makes my voice sound really, really good. but it actually recorded the mic without the reverb. I just applied it on after the fact. I can remove it, no problem. Now what happens though if I plug in a guitar pedal and have all my sounds on the guitar pedal and plug that into the computer? What am I going to get? Yeah,
You're gonna get a track of the guitar that has a bunch of effects that you can't remove.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So if I decide I want to eliminate a little bit of distortion, what do I have to do? Yeah, re-record it. Drop the distortion down and re-record it. But if I used an amp simulator in the computer, what could I do? Yeah.
Just turn the knob down a bit and replay.
Yeah, isn't that cool, huh? Now, any guitarists in the room that have a sound? Yeah. So try telling a guitarist with a sound that he's got to use a Pod XT Pro in the studio. They always tell me the same things I can't repeat right now. But I've learned that you record their sound. Put a microphone in front of the cabinet and just record it. The biggest reason why is because they will perform better with their sound, right? Yeah. So that's why you do that. And if they tell you, man, I wish I'd had a little less delay on that, you smile and laugh and say, Pod XT Pro? And they say no. You say, good take that. Right? Cool. Now, another very, very important point to remember when you're going through all this, when in doubt, use YouTube. You will learn everything you need to know on YouTube. You've asked me a million questions tonight. Everything I've given you, you could actually find on YouTube. Not with the same handsome prowess that I gave you, of course, but you can find the information. Even including a little bit of snippets on the MG614. Not much, but a little bit. So that's it for this part of the presentation. Any questions about what I need to buy and how I need to hook it up? So far, so good? We got a concert ready to go here. Now I just need to record it, right? So let's do that. I'm gonna pop over to the computer and I'm gonna go to my digital audio workstation. Tonight I'm gonna use Sonar.
Is that your editor?
That was my engineer, yeah.
Awesome.
My Labrador Beagle. Cool. I'm going to just shape this up a bit so we can see all the things I want you to see. So, this is a MIDI track. We're not going to address MIDI tonight. I'm going to delete it. Anybody who has questions on MIDI can ask me those questions when we're finished. However, I added another audio track. So the first track we agreed was going to be guitar, right? If I could just spell it right. There we are. The second track, we're going to call that vocal. Now, this is my input. This is my output. That'll make more sense in a minute. So I'm going to click on my guitar track. It says guitar there. I have to tell it that it's coming into which input, the left, the right, or stereo.
You can't see the screen.
Oh, is my face in the way? I'm sorry. Yeah, let me back away from that then. So I have three choices for the guitar. Is it in the left input, the right input, or the stereo input? Left. Very good. Okay, and now I'm going to click on the vocal and go over here. And where's that plugged into? The right. Very important that we assign those channels. Now, just like the old tape days, I got to arm the track and get it ready to record. All right? So, how you guys feeling? Feeling good? I didn't even test the mic yet. We should probably do that. Can you sing a bar for me?
I can't use it anymore. Long black cloud is coming down.
Now, keep going.
Feels like I'm knocking
Guitar.
on heaven's door.
Vocal. I was redlining, so I turned the guitar down a bit.
Knocking on heaven's door.
I'll turn it a wee bit more.
And now I'm knocking on heaven's door.
See my levels, are they okay? I'm not going into the red much. I won't, stop there guys. What happens when I do go into the red?
Clipping.
Clipping, yeah, is that good?
No.
Some people like it, I personally don't, but in the digital world, clipping's real bad. In the analog world, you can go a little bit above and it kind of juices it up a little bit, but you know, heavy distortion kind of thing is not good. On a vocal track especially, right?
How do you control that when the singer decides to get into it at that moment and he pulls it too close to his lips?
then you do another take and you tell him if he does it again, it'll be an extra $50.
Right on.
Or,
Good food for thought.
yeah, but to your point, I get a lot of amateur vocalists that come in the studio and they do this. You stand right here and the mic's right here, and long black cloud is coming down, right? I don't want that. But if they're the kind that leans into a mic, well, I'll just bring that down, that input volume down a little bit, because I know that at their maximum level, I won't go over. It's kind of okay, not great, but it's okay if you don't get right to the max clip. With that said though, vocalists work for years to have great mic technique, right? Because you get a really good performance out of that. And they know that when they're gonna wail on it, they either turn their head sideways or lean back, right? So we're not gonna worry about that much tonight, but great point. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I got the metronome on. We don't want metronome. Enough of that. We're not that pro tonight here. So let me turn the metronome off. And
I'll just do it.
we're going.
Mama, take this back from me. Hey, I can't use it anymore. A long dark cloud is coming down. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. And I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Nice job, guys. All right. So now we get to the fun stuff. Don't go away. So I'm not going to touch the interface. It's already all set up, right? We heard everything quite well. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to disarm these tracks. Why am I doing that?
Is we done recording?
I don't want to record over those ones. Those are keepers, right? These guys maybe not think so, but I think so. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to add another track. And I'm going to add another guitar track. So I'm going to go guitar 2. I'm going to ask you to play it again. Slight variances, not picking and stuff, still strumming, but maybe some slight variances from what you did.
Okay.
If it's all the same again, no big deal, don't worry about it. But strumming is what I need. So I need to tell it it's going into what input again?
Left.
The left, yeah. Cool. And now I'm going to arm it. I'm going to balance it too so you can hear what you're playing versus what the computer's playing back for you. That's where the balance knob comes in. Okay? Are you ready to roll?
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Mama, take this back from me. Hey, I can't use it anymore. A long dark cloud is coming down. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's
All right. Thank you very much. So far, so good. Now I'm really going to ask a challenge. You think you can harmonize the chorus of that? let's add another track. Here we go. Where am I here? I want to go insert audio track, and I'm going to call this one Harmony. And we're going to skip right ahead to the chorus here. Where am I? Let me see where I'm at. We're going to go right here, because just like in the past with our old gear, we are able to punch in. So I'm going to make this again a right input, because this is going to be for the vocal. And I'm going to arm that track. And are you ready? Because it's going to come in pretty much right away. Let's give her a shot. And here we go. Do this, but I'm going to do this right now just to have a little bit of fun here. We missed one, right? So why don't I just do this? I'll just go back to that part. I'll just delete this space. And are you ready to drop that one in? Let's do it. That was pretty neat, huh? All right. Cool. Now, let's listen to just from the chorus part here. Now, I want you to tell me, and guys, we're done. Thank you so much. You did a great job. Microphone we can leave on the seat. I'm going to just shut those sources off. And in fact, I'm going to just unplug them. What if I wanted to plug a synth in now? Could I do that? Sure, why not, right? I just opened up a couple of spaces in my interface, so I can now plug the synth in. And got a synth you want to grab? And no, I'm kidding.